this life is like a play, you know what I'm saying? And everyone's always acting. Right now, I'm acting as a podcaster. You feel me? Even though I am doing it, I have to act like it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you have to put on the mask of it, because who tells you who you are? Like, who tells you that? The only person that can ever tell you anything is yourself, right? So, people play as a teacher, you play as a student, and this continues on for life forever. Someone plays as your boss. That nigga at your job don't own you. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're playing as an employee. So this is very important to understand, because once you understand that, you choose who you want to be, your power is limitless.
I relate.
You're welcome back to the Saint Pod. We're far from saints, but we're far from sinners. And today I got a special guest,
Lee Johnson.
Ty. So this man is an illustrator. He's a digital marketer. He's an entrepreneur. He's very multifaceted. But for those who do not know you, tell me about it.
I'm Lee Johnson. I'm from the South. My family's from the Caribbean. And I like martial arts and anime and animation and art and creation. And I'm really concerned with helping people that operate small businesses and helping people that are interested in creativity scale their production so that they can fuel the projects that they want to make.
Facts. Damn. That's a lot. That's a lot. Let me just talk about the thing you just said. Like, you help people scale their businesses. What is that called?
Scaling.
The scaling. That's so tough. And what kind of businesses do you usually reach out to?
Primarily creative businesses, generally like either small media production companies or companies that want to increase not only their social media presence, but like their digital footprint. People that want the world to know that they exist and have a specific brand identity that they want to share with the world.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Not like, so I've known Lee for a very long time, and we've always been on a kind of similar journey, and it's crazy to see where you are and where I am, doing similar things. And this man's very successful. He's had multiple successful business moves, and we actually collab when I should have a clothing line. He helped me put my stuff on his clothing line page, and like, so we could both sell, which is so thorough. So I appreciate that, and this guy's a really good guy. And for the first video pod, I wanted to bring you on here, so I appreciate you.
Absolutely,
You feel
bro.
me? So,
Much love to you.
hey, say no more, gang. But no, this pod is gonna be about how to navigate society, right? So let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about what society, because maybe not a lot of people not even understand what society is, right? So my definition of society is just how we live in life, how we interact with people, how we interact with the culture, what we provide for the culture, what we don't provide for the culture. You know what I'm saying? And the culture, I'm not just saying us as black people, but culture as in for the human race, right? Because everyone lives here. So, what in your definition, what do you think society is?
I think society is the connected ecosystem of people and intentions and the things that we can and can't control.
God damn.
So when we're figuring out like how we want to engage with that,
Sure.
we can't just look at like what we want to do or what we believe, but
Right.
how people perceive things and why they perceive things that way and the context of that like connected perception.
For sure. That was. I think you need a pod, bro. So but yeah, no. I think you hit it right on the dot, man. And I think it's not a simple answer to how to navigate society. So when I listen to this, I want y'all to really have an open mind and really understand that this is just simply our opinions and based off of our experiences and where we lived on a part of the earth that we're from. You feel me? So just take what you can from this, and hopefully you'll leave this pod knowing better, or just gaining some kind of insight on how other people live our lives, right? So for the first thing, I want to say, it's very important to know who you are, right? And what does that mean? I think a lot of people have our identities tied into what we do, what political side we're on, what job we do. But when I say knowing who you are, I kind of mean morally, right? Knowing who you are as in boundaries, the boundaries you keep not just for yourself, but for the people around you. And it's very important to understand who you are and what kind of boundaries you have, because if you do not have these kind of things in line, you'll be thrown. You'll be thrown in any direction by anyone close to you because they'll have their own boundaries and they'll enforce it on you. But you won't have anything, so it's kind of like you're just thrown around. And this can just be work, this can be family, this can be friends, this can be really all parts of life. You feel me? And a lot of these kind of people become people pleasers. They don't get anything they want in life, and you're kind of just a follower. You're a bot essentially. Like you're just following the masses. Yeah. So what do you think about that point?
I think it's valid, and I think everybody knows what they like to a certain extent. There's things we connect to for whatever reason, and things we vehemently want to stay away from for whatever reason. So, for example, I've always been attracted to media that came from Asia, especially around martial arts, and it wasn't necessarily because I deified people that came from like China and Japan or whatever, but because generally the media that I was exposed to, which is mostly like martial arts movies, right, is based on a marginalized people building their skills so that they can change the way that their life operates. And they don't just change their individual lives, they change the lives of their entire community, and they end up being able to offer tremendous value to their community. And I really like respected that and subconsciously wanted to like adapt that or bring that into my life. Whereas like the Western media that I like is like superheroes, for example. Right. And the superheroes are far more individualistic, where they have like a special ability. And for whatever reason, they choose to use that benevolently and to share it with people, no matter how much suffering they might have to endure. And I really like felt that as well. Whereas like conventional sports, not really. Because I saw people like doing these things that didn't seem to give like a tremendous advantage. Like I run fast and I bring a ball from one place to another and I get millions of dollars and I spend my millions of dollars on things that don't come from my community. I couldn't necessarily vibe with that. So I'd rather like watch Batman than like watch an Eagles game.
Watch sports, right?
But over time I came to understand what a lot of people, like in my family, for example, how they feel about the Eagles, the connected communal pride that they get from being able to engage with that gets them through the day and gives them something to look forward to for the week and gives them something to talk about in the barbershop. And that inspires them to continue living their life. Even if it had no individual benefit to me, the communal benefit that those people have as symbols is really important.
Facts. I think you really understand people. And because, I don't think I ever put those. I understand. I always understood what you just said. I don't think I ever put it into words per se. And let's just. I don't mean to get off topic. Let's just talk about sports, right? Because in college, I was in this religious class, right? And we just explored all different religions and everything. And they compared. My professor, he compared sports to religion. And at first, class was like, oh, like that's bullshit, whatever, So, like sports is nothing like religion, because a lot of people that's in the class is because they're against religion, and I'm not me, but I just noticed like that was kind of the trend of my classmates. They were just against religion, and a lot of them were atheists, and so they kind of was an outcry about that, right? But then the professor, the way he broke it down was, what's religion, right? There's rituals, there's people gathering, there's ceremonies, there's tailgating is just, it just has the same kind of virtues to it, the same thing as other religions have. And the way people feel about these sports, what I'm saying, people have died over sports, just like how, maybe not to the same extent as religion, but people have died, people have rioted, burnt down stuff, we get very emotionally involved just because of sports. What you say, just running fast, getting a bucket, it's very simple, but the way we work is, people need something to hang on to. If it's not religion, it may be sports. If it's not sports, it'll be something else. But even me doing this, I don't really watch sports, I don't really do a lot of things, but hey, I got this, Like I don't do a lot of things that normal people do, but I got this. I'm doing something that, I believe in. A lot of people believe in sports, just like people believe in religion. And actually, this is not going to go off topic, because this does tie into what I'm talking about understanding people and what we do and where we come from. Because like we were saying, you didn't understand it at first growing up. You didn't understand why people like sports, or like it didn't mean anything to you. I felt the same way, but later in life, it's like you understand that, oh, this brings people together. It has something to talk about. You know, you come in Monday at work, oh, did you catch the Eagles game last night? You know, all my coworkers are talking, oh, you caught the game last night, and then they talk about it for like 20 minutes. You know, and to me, it's like cool. You know, I watched the Eagles game. I watched some Eagles game. I watched the last one. I want before that too. I don't know, but like, it doesn't really resonate me as much as other people. But yeah, that was a good point. That was a good point, bro. Anything else you want to say about that point, or?
Nah.
No, that's okay. Cool. I think also, so that's knowing who you are. Like, I'm just, do I have anything else to say about that? I just think if you don't know how to figure out who you are, watch my other podcasts, listen to my other podcasts first of all, but a good starter thing to do is being by yourself, and learning how to be by yourself without without feeling sad or empty. You need to become comfortable with being by yourself and being able to survive by yourself and being able to entertain yourself. You know what I'm saying? Learn what you like, learn what you don't like. Venture off, solo travel if you can. Just do a lot of stuff by yourself. Go to the movies by yourself, eat by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Really get a feel for who you are, because if you're always distracting yourself with other people or TV or something like that, you'll never get a chance to actually bond with yourself, right? But the second point is learn how to have strong relationships, right? You want to take this one first, or?
Yeah.
Right, go ahead.
You just spoke of doing things yourself, doing stuff by yourself, and being okay with the company of yourself.
Right.
And that would be introspection. And in that, we can understand ourselves better because there's nothing distracting us. There's a neurologist by the name of Andrew Huberman, and he goes into how when people meditate, basically, when their mind is like not occupied with anything stimulating them, the mind has the freedom to populate itself with ideas. And we get to see all those ideas with no distractions at all. And I practiced Zen meditation for a long time, which is a type of meditation called mushin. It's Japanese. That means no mind. You empty your mind. And it's like sitting at the bottom of a pool. And you're just in there in the thoughts. And everything that you think and feel is just there, present in you, to the point that words and sounds and ideas just melt into this one thing, and you're just experiencing it. And that's cool.
That's tough, yeah.
Till you come out of it.
Right.
And you can either draw meaning from what you've experienced, or you can treat it like an escape. And for a long time, I didn't listen to music, didn't watch TV, ain't watch no movies, wasn't around nobody. I was just like working and like going into meditation and just seeing all types of cool stuff. And then I came out and I was like, yo, I'm not encumbered by any of these things all these other people are encumbered by. Right. I must be the Buddha. I must be enlightened. And when I had conversations with people, I'd feel almost sad because I was like, yo, you're choosing to suffer. Why would you choose to suffer when you can just get rid of everything? I did it. You should be able to do it. But having not even studied Buddhism, having tried to self-guide my way into like Eastern philosophy, I didn't know about the Four Noble Truths. The first noble truth is that life is suffering, which everybody kind of knows. But the second, third, and fourth,
listen,
yeah,
a lot of people don't know that.
Oh, sucks for them.
No, listen, a lot of people don't know that this isn't common knowledge, and that's the thing about being. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No worries.
That's the thing about learning a lot. Is like you start to think that this knowledge is just it's common knowledge, but it's really not. So I really do want you to speak on that. So you said life is suffering. Yeah,
the first noble truth is life is suffering. The third, fourth, and fifth second, third, and fourth basically say that life is suffering. You choose how you can suffer in life. You can recognize the suffering of other people, and you can transcend suffering, basically. But you can't transcend suffering if you do not accept the fact that life is suffering and understand the relationship that you want to have with the world or the universe, whatever, or God or whatever. So similarly, you can't understand people unless you put yourself in a position to like meaningfully connect with them and experience the things of connecting with them. And that's extrospection. And unlike introspection, where you go into a cave and you just sit there in the dark and you come out and feel better about yourself. Through extrospection, all the things about yourself that you might not like, that you see in other people that causes you to dislike them, those are the things that actually have to be addressed. And that's how we can like break down the ego or like break down any sense of like entitlement or anything that can make us feel not only that like we're better than other people, but that other people are a hindrance. There's a psychologist or a philosopher that said hell is other people. That's a stupid quote because anything that you hate generally is like an inward manifestation of something that you're dealing with. Exactly.
Reflection.
Exactly. And that's something that I was only able to start engaging with about 2 years ago. And it's been so slow. Like sometimes I'll be having a conversation for like 3 hours with someone that I do not want to talk to. But like only by engaging with people I haven't engaged with and engaging in ideas I haven't engaged with will I like gain a greater understanding of myself. So I've been like talking to my dad and understanding a lot of subconscious stuff that was in me that I didn't even know about why it was there. And it's because he dealt with it and genetically or whatever ended up being it with me. Same with my siblings, same with my cousins. So like having conversations we might not even expect to have and dealing with like strangers can teach us so much more about ourselves. And then we can kind of have harmony over that introspection and extrospection.
Nah, big facts. It's a lot to unpack. It's a lot I want to touch on what you just said. The first thing about we were just talking about spiritual ego. You know, it's a lot of people, especially over COVID and quarantine, they got really deep into spirituality, and but it was really the spiritual. Like I think so. I got into spirituality. Like I'll say like high school, but so that was I'll say 3 or 4 years before the COVID, right? And so it was good the way I got into it because it was a slow learning process. There was stuff online, but it wasn't that much stuff online. But so I was slowly getting into it, so it made me be able to go like this, you know what I'm saying? I think when people was in a quarantine, it was like this, like went straight up in the line because everybody was at the crib, so like they had time to just do whatever, you know what I'm saying? Learn without, having to live their own life. And that's good, but it's bad because if you just listen, if you consume yourself with anything too much, it's going to be a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people gain this sense of spirituality and use it as a power. You know what I'm saying? And but I think that's a part of the path though. I think you need to go through the spiritual ego. Thinking you're better than everybody. Or calling everybody bots, and you know what I'm saying. But that should be a step. If you're still in that, you need to overcome it. You know what I'm saying? Because you need to overcome it and be like, oh, you can learn everything. You can learn something from everybody. Everybody you think about, even though you think they're so stupid, they're so, simple, they're so, literally you can learn something from everybody. So you should never look down on somebody, yeah. Now I want to also talk about the thing you said about, you know, genetically genetically getting trauma passed down. Which it's so crazy. Just the idea that you can something can get passed down to you just genetically. It's so crazy because it's so funny when we talk about how we never want to be like our parents, and then later on we end up literally being that. And a lot of times because you can change that, but it's awareness. So you have to understand what's going on in your mind, and you deal with the same things that your parents have dealt with. You know what I'm saying, growing up. And a lot of times we don't speak about that though. We don't speak about to our parents, I'm going through this or whatever the case is. And the conversation that we should be having with each other. And this is tying all in. The conversations we have with each other is very important because we'll learn way faster that way. We will be able to learn from our mistakes way faster that way than just having your dad doing the same thing, learning, overcoming, you doing the same thing, learning, overcoming, your child doing the same thing, learning, overcoming. Where if it was like a group discussion, we could all overcome it together at the same time. You feel me? So I think community is very important. That's why I was saying, our second point is having strong relationships in society is very important because you'll learn way faster. You will gain experience way faster. You'll just do a lot of things way faster in life, and I'm not saying it's fast way like it's like a shortcut. I'm just saying it's fast as in like you'll be able to just transcend a lot of things that you just don't have to go through. You know what I'm saying? So, but also the relationships cannot be like drainful. Like it can't be like leechy kind of relationships. It has to be good relationships. I think a lot of us have relationships where it's just based off the activity. You know, so a lot of people may have friend groups that it's just smoking. You know what I'm saying? People that just come together just smoking and they just go about their day. And if they didn't have that activity, they wouldn't be friends. Just think about that.
Sucks for them. My grandma always says that people need people. A lot of evolutionary biologists say that like humans are social animals.
Facts.
And based on certain experiences, we have neuroplasticity, which is like how our brains change based on how we experience things. So I adopted a life where my emotional needs are like very like compressed. And if I have like the most basic of fulfillment, then like I'm good for like a while. A lot of people don't exist like that, nor should they. So I always have to be like conscious and aware that because of how my needs are, I have to understand how different people engage with the world. Because there's some people who legit like can't spend like 4 days alone. For a long time, that confused me, but then I understood, especially like talking to a lot of like my homegirls and stuff, that like relationships can be a great sense of security for them, physically and emotionally and stuff. And for a lot of dudes, without having peers and mentors and stuff to kind of guide them, they're not going to read all these freaking Japanese books of philosophy like I am. They're not going to spend hours reading the Bible and stuff. It helps a lot to like have people to bounce things off of, and it's not easy to get access to like the experts and stuff that I'm like blessed to be able to have access to. So it's definitely important to have consistent engagement with people and to be able to engage them in a fulfilling way, regardless of. But it's important to know what your needs are and how to fulfill them.
For sure, definitely. Yeah, no, we definitely need people. Like, you know, because my last point was literally, stay by yourself. And, you know, it's all a process. It's not simple, bro. Like, you need to master these. You need to master it by yourself. Then you need to master relationships. You can't skip the one where you need to be by yourself because, listen, when you're by yourself, this is how you learn everything you need to learn about people. Once you understand yourself, you will understand people. We literally go hand in hand. Whenever you're talking to somebody, that's literally just your reflection. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to confuse people with this. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep my podcast kind of like so someone that's not in the spiritual realm can understand. But everyone is literally a reflection of you. So what you were saying earlier, I'm going to touch on this. What you hate, you kind of are, right? Like, it's kind of interesting. Like, we can see, I'll give you an example. You see it'd be like the anti-trans community, and the leader of the trans community came out and was like, he was messing with a trans woman. It's so weird how that works. Like people that have strong hatred towards some things, they see it in themselves, and that's why they hate themselves. They hate people. You know, it can be said on a small level too. Like the person that comes in, like if you work at a some type of customer service job, a person that comes in and is just rude to you for no reason, they're dealing with themselves, but they're pushing it onto you. You know what I'm saying? And like they are harsh on listen. Follow me. They came in and was rude to you, right? But it's because they're rude to themselves. And you are a reflection of them. So that's why they're being rude to you. You know, I don't know if that makes sense to y'all, but listen. Really listen up. I'm talking my shit. Tell them, Lee.
That man's spitting.
Not a rat. But yeah, you know, relationships are really important for you to understand how to navigate life, because a person that has no relationships, strong relationships, can be lost in effect of and won't know how to have a good partner, good friends, gain connections, especially if that's what you need for your job. Like, won't know how to network. You know, and can be learned from anybody, right? I'm not saying you have to be the most social butterfly. You can be introverted, but still know how to have great, strong relationships. Lee, what do you think? What would you tell somebody for someone that doesn't have strong relationships, and should they go about that?
Generally, people that don't have any strong relationships don't have goals that are attached to their identity. And generally, they're operating from fear that if they assume an identity or if they plant themselves, that then they'll be stuck and that they'll make the wrong decision. So it's important for them to do things, not only that are just out of their comfort zone, but to find their purpose and then find activities that align with their purpose and then operate in those very small circles. So for me, I like to move around, like to travel, like to consume a lot of information. I do not like to be still at all. But the long-term goals that I have, like having a house and a family and all that cute stuff, require me to be more stable. And I can't run around all over the country doing all this crazy stuff and then be like, I want a wife, and just magically like plant myself down and not have the energy of being frenetic and running around doing all this cool stuff. So a couple of years ago, I decided to consciously like start putting myself on a decline. So instead of just running into a wall and stopping all this momentum, allowing the momentum to settle and allowing my experiences to put me in positions and staying in those positions. And it's hard because I can do so much stuff. But in order to accomplish these long-term goals that I have to like not only settle like my physical body, but like literally my spirit. And every day is like a challenge to ensure that I'm settled in a spirit of planting a flag and planting a foundation, as opposed to like punishing myself for like not doing stuff that I normally want to do.
Yeah, this guy really understands himself. That's crazy to say. You know, you're bringing your subconscious to your consciousness, and that's very hard to do, and because first of all, you have to know what you want for that. You know what I'm saying? You really have to know what you want, and most people don't know what they want. I'm trying to think, do I even know what I want? You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's simple either. You know, you're very calculated in the way you live life, and that's very interesting. And for a long time, you know, I felt like you have to be like that. But the thing is, you don't have to be like that also. I just want to tell the audience, like, you know, he's giving his advice from his own personal experience, you feel me? And yeah, this guy's never in Philly. He's right about that. He's never in Philly. I'm glad I caught him this time though, so we could do the pod. But yeah, I think you're right about that. Just knowing what you want to do, you know what I'm saying, and then calculating it in a way where it makes sense, right? Because like you want to do something, but there's no way you can do it the way you are right now. So I'm gonna work on it, and I'm gonna do this, and then eventually it's gonna get there. It's not gonna come like this, but you know it's gonna happen, right? So basically, you just basically told them just to work on themselves, basically, for sure. And I literally think that that's so true. And the other thing you said was, you know, forget what you want to do, like your passions and stuff like that, and then sit in that environment, and basically they'll come to you. And I think that's so true, and that goes for everything in life. Wanting a girlfriend, wanting a boyfriend, or whatever you want. Like these kind of relationships, I don't think it's anything to look for. You know, I don't think those are ever the good relationships. The relationships that are really good come to you. And why do they come to you? They're usually because they're in environments where you're thriving in. So find a place where you thrive in, and everything will come to you.
Indeed.
Yeah. So listen. Make sure you have relationships where you can grow in, and make sure they're not people that just drain you. It has to be like you have to feel like you're growing like a plant, you know, together, you know. So I'm not just talking about boyfriend girlfriend relationships. I'm talking about just relationships in general, right? So that's all I gotta say about that point. So the third point is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. All right, he's excited. So what's emotional intelligence, Lee?
Something that I don't have.
Oh God, this nigga's light yogging me. What the hell?
Snap. I don't even think it's intuitive. I think of everything as a skill is like passively or actively developed. But I think it's the ability to recognize response to stimuli and act on that stimuli in a manner that takes into account another person or another group's emotional and spiritual needs. It's because when people are in a state of emotional and spiritual disrepair, they become very destructive to themselves and others.
Right. Yeah, I could tell you're not emotionally intelligent. That was so like a non-emotional answer to it, but yeah. No, that's. I mean, you're not lying though. I just think that emotional intelligence is important to achieve. It's not even achieve because you're always learning about it. You're always growing with it because people are always going to have more emotions. You know what I'm saying? So emotional intelligence to me is just. Basically, it's some of that is just figuring, like, understanding how someone feels, but not just understanding it. So, and what I mean by that, I mean like you understand it as in you feel it, and you can you know how to go about certain things. So someone that isn't emotionally intelligent, right? I might want to speak about how it's like from a relationship standpoint. I'm going to speak about how on an individual standpoint. If you're not emotionally intelligent for yourself, you might not be able to assess your emotions. So someone might be doing things for no reason. You know what I'm saying? And not saying you, because like I know we said that you're not. This is kind of different. What we're talking about.
Let it out, bro. You're good. You're good.
But so a person might do a certain action, and out of anger, but he doesn't know why he's angry. He doesn't understand, why he feels a certain kind of way. He might wake up and be like, "Oh, fuck the world," but he don't know why, and that's very dangerous. Oh, that's what you were saying. That is what you were saying, though. Like it's very dangerous to be like that, because I think that's literally how murderers are made. Like, because they just have all these emotions. They don't know why they feel those kind of ways, and then they just act out on it, and because energy cannot be destroyed or what
Created only
right?
transferred.
Yeah, right. So it's like energy has to go somewhere, and when you don't know why you're in what kind of energy, where it's supposed to go, and what no kind of outlet, you'll destroy yourself. You'll self-destruct. Yeah, anything to say about that?
That's a fact.
That's a
And
fact.
let's see. And there we are. It is important to let go of the control that comes as the desire for control that's rooted in fear. Basically, if you can manage your relationship with fear, then you can solve a lot of problems internally.
I'm sorry, you said if you can that last part you said?
If you can manage your relationship with fear,
Yeah,
then a lot of internal problems are easier to navigate.
explain that. I don't understand. What do you mean? Use fear. How we use fear?
So oftentimes, whenever there's an internal conflict, it's because of not wanting to determine your relationship with reality. And a lot of people will attempt to use any method to control people or to control literally weather, because they feel that if they have that control, they'll be free from fear. But the only thing that fear comes from is like your mind. Your anxiety is coming from like your mind, and that uncertainty produces fear.
Right.
And if you can understand your relationship with that uncertainty, which is where that fear is, if you can understand your relationship with anything that causes you discomfort, then you can like overcome it.
That's true. That is really true. Fear is a tool. Fear is a tool. Is last thing I'll say about this. Fear is a tool, and there's no such thing as, okay, I'm just not going to have fear in my body anymore. I'm never going to be scared anymore. Fear is something that is literally embedded in us, just like how joy is, just like how sadness is. There's no running away from it. So I think in order to really have a handle on it is to understand it and understand the relationship, like what you were saying. With the weather, that was a good example with the weather thing. I think a lot of us want to control things in our life that simply cannot be controlled, and it's an illusion if you believe that. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. And so if we try to control certain things, it'll get even more out of control, because that's the thing about life. You know what I'm saying? The whole point, I feel like, is letting go, and being able to be okay with things not going your way. And I'll give y'all a little tip too. Next time y'all feel like things aren't going your way, you know what I'm saying? Just let it go. Like, stop having expectations all the time for every little thing. Because a lot of times your fear is producing that bad outcome. You might be thinking, like you already had this example. Like I have had a situation where you think something's gonna be way worse than it actually is, and the whole time it was just your anxiety. Like it was just your fear. It was really nothing that entire time. So stop letting it control you. Like literally, like next time you have a certain situation that's like very important or event that's going on, you're nervous about, Just let go. Just do what you gotta do. You already know you already know what you gotta do. Just do it. You feel me? And yeah, man. So, critical thinking skills. How you feel about that?
Oh, I love critical thinking.
How we do?
It's so great.
No, it really is. It really
Yeah,
is.
because you can study it, you can break it down, and there's all these different resources to understand it better.
Facts.
Yeah.
History was my favorite subject.
As it should be.
Because critical, like that's a big part of history is critical thinking, and I really think that's what separates a lot of people from higher intelligence is critical thinking. I don't think a lot of people have this skill, or is sharpening it enough, because even the stuff online, I'll see stuff online and people don't understand certain situations because they have a lack of critical thinking skills. How do they sharpen that? How do they sharpen that? Like what would you tell somebody if to have more critical thinking skills? I was gonna say like reading, like you need to read more, learn more history, learn how similar situations happen, so about when a future situation happens. Oh, I've seen this before, that type of thing. But yeah, I want to see what you thought about that.
I think people should, like, if there were like concentric rings on the outside, I think people should look at the sentences that they like, and then they should understand the inspiration of those sentences, and then they should understand the meaning, the underlying core message of what that sentence is. So, for example, give me like a rap lyric.
A rap lyric.
Yeah, that you like really like.
I don't know why I'm thinking about a Kwani lyric, but
I've never heard of this Kwani person. That works.
You know Kwani?
I have no idea who that is.
Okay, he's a Philly rapper. Let me wait. Hold on. No, it's some stupid shit. That's why I don't want to say. Let's just bring up a random Kendrick lyric.
Okay.
Let's bring up a random Kendrick lyric.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. All right, it gave me put me to Reddit. So let's
God bless
see.
Reddit.
No, I love Reddit.
A lot of quality inspiration.
No, I love Reddit. No, literally, like Reddit gives me all my answers that I ever want.
Beautiful.
Okay. Damn, these some good joints. All right. Let me see. Is this a good one? Am I worth it? Did I put enough work in? Let's sing about me.
There we are.
Sing about me.
So he asks, "Am I worth it? Did I put enough work in?" And that's existentialism. So you can look at the entire philosophy of existentialism, and like the most surface level, it's just like, am I worth it?
Did I put enough work in?
Did I put enough work in? He's questioning, like, is the work that he's put in worth it, basically? Which is cool, questioning his value, basically. But questioning your value only comes if you're uncertain about your value. You're generally uncertain about your value.
So now we understand that he's insecure.
Exactly.
Right.
Because we understand that his insecurity is rooted in his reality with existence. There's a whole school of philosophy called existentialism that works within that. There's a dude called Kierkegaard who's like, Kierkegaard is that dude. And there's a bunch of other people as well. But basically, the sentence that encapsulates like existentialism is, I think, therefore I am. And that basically, there's a whole conversation that goes into that. But basically, the root of it is your perception is rooted in what you've experienced. And if you want to change your perception, you just change your experiences. And you can do that through introspection, or you can do it through extrospection. And that's what makes existentialism helps people to build a relationship with meaning. And meaning is the antidote to like meaninglessness. Like
Wait, hold on 1 second, because I don't know what you're talking about, but people might not know what you're saying. Like it's that saying that says, they say you are your reality, so like you can change your reality. So he's saying like you can change your reality about what you think, by what you think about how you feel about life. So like, for example, if you believe all people are bad, your experience will be all people are bad, and that's what you mean, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that was hard, bro. That was hard.
We out here.
That was a good joint. But yeah, what you were saying though, that like how take the sentence and then basically read in between the lines, and that is a good tip to have, because that's literally what critical thinking is seeing what's not being said, right? And I think that a big thing is the people that believe like So should I get into this? Yeah, let's just get into it. People that believe that the government is simply always looking out for our best interests, right? When we know that's not true. You know what I'm saying? This is a place. It's a business. America's a business. We're just talking about America for everybody that's not in America. America's a business. So no, they're not looking out for your best interest. They want you alive so they can make money off of you. But no, that's not the first thing that comes to their mind. And no one tells you this. It's not like, people do tell you it, but it's not like in your face, like the government's like, oh, we don't care about you. But it's in between the lines, we see it. You know what I'm saying? And for people that don't have good critical thinking skills, they will never see that.
Sucks for them. Gotta get them critical thinking skills up.
Nah, for sure. But yeah, so what he just said, listen, when you listen to these rappers, understand them. When you listen to these people, understand them. Like, how he just picked a lyric, pick something in that somebody said to you, somebody that's close to you. I think a lot of people, this goes hand in hand with emotional intelligence too, I believe, because I think a lot of people, when they're having a problem with their partner or whatever, they might be listening, they might be hearing but not listening. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that means is understand more than what's being said. You know what I'm saying? If your partner is saying I always use relationship examples in my podcast because that's just the easiest to understand because everyone wants to be in a relationship. Everybody wants love. But so when you're in an argument or whatever case is, something's being said, your partner might be saying, oh, I feel like you don't listen to me right. But you're like, but I'm listening right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm always listening, whatever you got to say out your mouth. But, what that person is really saying is, well, what do you think? What do you think that person's saying when someone's their partner is because we're testing his emotional intelligence right now. So when your partner comes to you and she's like, I feel like I'm not being heard in this relationship.
There is a subconscious response resulting in an action that is not being expressed.
Who's not expressing it?
I'm not expressing that I care in a manner that she can understand, basically.
Right. And what he's saying is she feels like she's not being validated in what she's saying. And that's what that is. And so critical thinking is very important because if you didn't have those kind of critical thinking skills, you wouldn't be able to understand what she's saying. And yeah, that's a really good point, man. It's a really good point.
Memorization helps so much.
This guy, bro. All right. I think this is the last point for this topic. I think if you went through all that, I think mentorship is can be really helpful. Finding someone that is in your niche of whatever you do in life, finding someone that's doing it way better than you and connecting with them and possibly paying them, or maybe they can do it for free. Shit, I don't know, but paying them to help you do what you do. So for example, if talking about me, if I was doing this podcast, and I'm doing this podcast stuff, and I know somebody in my area locally that has been doing this podcast stuff for a long time, I would reach out to them and maybe what I'm saying, talk to them, conversate with them, keep it casual, and then ask them can you be my mentor? You know what I'm saying? People do this. This is a regular thing. I actually didn't know this for a long time. This was actually a thing. People mentor people all the time. And that's really important because what I was saying earlier, you'll just learn stuff way faster. You won't have to go through all the pain and suffering, which isn't bad, but pain and suffering as much. You know what I'm saying? And you'll learn way quicker that way. So, so someone that has more experience than you, doesn't have to be in your job career, but just someone that has more experience than you and can really sit you down and explore what you got going on. Because listen, we are all living the same life. I always see it. When I talk to people, there's always similarities, you know what I'm saying? So, if someone that's more experienced with you can help you with that. Have you ever had a mentor?
Yeah, I've had a lot. And they've always been more distant because I'm fierce over my relationship with my father. And I grew up around a lot of poor male mentors or whatever. Mm-hmm. And because of how people perceived me as I was growing up, they'd be like, young man, you're going to save everything. I want to teach you stuff and take you under my wing. And I'd be like, get away from me.
Right.
I have a father. I've been like that my entire life. However, in introspection, I've realized that the men that I do respect and the men that I do listen to and allow to like guide my path in certain ways have a lot of the traits that I respect about my father. And that's kind of the baseline to me being even willing to listen to them.
That's cool. That's tough. Yeah, get a mentor, man. Let people help you. Let people help you. You know, a lot of this, like when you start growing, when you really start applying these kind of things that into your life, it's gonna be hard. You're gonna find out stuff you never even realized you had issues with. I'm trying to think something I can share about myself. I don't know, but a lot of issues are going to be brought up when you're learning how to be by yourself, when you're learning how to have stronger connections to people, and that comes with living life. And then you need to solve these issues though, because if you keep running away from these issues, they're going to keep showing up. You're going to learn the same lessons. I've literally experienced this. I've kept learning the same lessons until I've overcame it. Like, okay, I get it. You know what I'm saying? You keep doing the same things, you're going to have the same results. Listen, this life is like math. It feels like, you know, the Matrix, like, it's literally like math. Like, it's like 2 + 2 type shit. Like, so if you keep doing the same things will keep happening to you. So if you want to stop being complacent, you want to stop being average, you need to apply what I'm saying to you, what we're saying to you, right?
Indeed.
Last thing I want to talk about. So I want to talk about this concept. It's called the mask, right? And listen, I mean, I'm not saying I created that term, but like I haven't read about it or anything. This is something that I've just learned about and just thought about all the time in my head. So I call it the mask because this is how we operate in life, in society, right? The mask we put on in front of everybody, and when we go to our job, you know, in front of our family, because, you know, at the end of the day, it's kind of like no one really knows us like we know us. You understand? Like you can spend a lot of time with somebody. That doesn't mean that you let them in completely. And I don't even know if you can do that. But yeah. So this is such thing as the roles we play in life, right? So for example, if you're in school, when you're a kid and you're in school, your teacher comes in and puts on a mask of the teacher, right? They stand at the front of the room. You guys sit in the little tables because you're playing as a student. You know what I'm saying? This life is like a play. You know what I'm saying? And everyone's always acting. Right now, I'm acting as a podcaster. You feel me? Even though I am doing it, I have to act like it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I have to put on a mask of it, because who tells you who you are? Like, who tells you that? The only person that can ever tell you anything is yourself, right? So, you know, people play as a teacher, you play as a student, and this continues on for life forever. Someone plays as your boss. That nigga at your job don't own you. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're playing as an employee. So this is very important to understand, because once you understand that, you choose who you want to be, your power is limitless, right?
That's true.
What do you guys say about that?
For a long time, I did everything that I could to learn how to disconnect from that matrix and not have to wear that mask and to feel free from that social expectation. And the more free that I became, I learned that that social expectation is still a thing that lives inside of me. And it's basically me tuning myself to the frequency of society. And that which is socially acceptable being the predominant, like, subconscious action is social conditioning. That's literally what social programming is. And there's like Pavlov's dog and all these different ways that you can socially condition people. And a lot of people just exist in that state, and we consider that like them being in the matrix. However, there are a lot of benefits to that. And what people have understood since the beginning of time is that you can utilize the fact that there are roles that people play in order to operate between those roles and do whatever you want. The problem with existing in that manner is it's kind of exploitative. And I realized as I was studying, like, people like the swordsman Miyamoto Musashi, who just ran around Japan killing people for 40 years. I was like, you know what? I've killed a lot of people. I should be a monk and write a book about strategy. And I read his book and I love his book, but like, he ran around Japan for 40 years killing people. This man was a genius. He could have built so much or helped so many people. And he was basically fulfilling his ego until he'd murdered so many people in combat.
Yeah, I'm done.
Exactly.
I think I'm good now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like King David. King David did a lot of cool stuff. He killed a lot of people. Right. Solomon, there was technically no war during Solomon's time. That man Solomon was going ham, like in the Bible. So like a lot of the people that I've been studying basically finessed existing systems to benefit individually. And I perceived that as freedom because I felt that I didn't have any. And then the more free that I got, I realized that I don't want to live my whole life exploiting systems and wanted to understand how to operate inside of society. In the Bible, they say to be in the world, but not of the world, basically. And the context of that is that regardless of how righteously you want to live, you have to acknowledge the fact that there are these systems at play and you can't just destroy the systems because then something worse or something more chaotic can take its place. And as we saw with Rome, that's exactly what happened. Rome got destroyed. People were like, there was the bubonic plague in freaking France. Like England was going ham for a long time. Now we live in air conditioning in America. Like there's chaos and there's order and there's these periods where it comes back and forth like that. And you can operate in between that, or you can like be an asset to the lives of the people that you love. And over time, I realized that I'd rather be an asset to the people that I love.
Facts. Yo, like, I resonate with so much stuff you said. Just the base level thing of just, wanting to be free of the mask, right? And that's what I thought freedom was. But, you're never really free. I think that's the whole point. Like you're never really free from anything as long as you're alive, right? So, listen, I like to exist in society because even though I understand it so well that I can be free from it. Sometimes I think about, eventually I want to just leave America and go somewhere where it's like not as the social constructs aren't as high of a wall, and I just want to live the rest of my life, and just raise cattle and just live off the crop and stuff like that. But I think it would be such a disservice because I have this kind of mind, and that's why I'm doing this, because I want to exist in this kind of space where I understand why so much of the shit is wrong, but I want to help people thrive in it. Like I do. Like, I'm not like, I feel like it's very easy for someone to go off the deep end. It's very easy to get consumed by the dark path. You feel me? And and or even simply just be depressed. Just be depressed. But I understand it so well because I've been through so much that I understand it so well. So I want to use my platform to just help anyone that's in need. You feel me? That's literally what this podcast is all about. It's just literally understanding life and understanding yourself more, so in your mind you can live free. Because I forgot who said it. They can take, I don't know the exact quote, but it's like, they can put you in shackles, they can arrest you, they can like kidnap you, whatever. But your mind, they can never take your mind, and that's so true because your mind is like, it's forever, and it's like it can't be stopped unless you actually are dead, right? And even then, who knows, right? So yeah. That was actually my next point was, do you think that the mask is important? Should we get rid of the mask, or should we keep it and just use it to our advantage?
We should keep it, and we should determine our relationship with reality, and we should operate on a righteous path. Whatever righteousness means to you, that's how you live life. If you want to be Aleister Crowley or Darth Vader or Peter Parker, you can be whoever the heck you want to be. But you operating and being a participant in society allows it to continue, because there would be no Luke Skywalker without Darth Vader. And then right. Yoda would have just been chilling on Dagobah, just existing with the swamp rats. And he wouldn't have been able to pass on his knowledge to Luke so that Luke could go do what needs to be done.
Facts. Basically what he's saying, for y'all, not everybody knows it, but like he's saying, without evil, there's no good. You know what I'm saying? There has to be presence of evil to be good. If there was no Green Goblin, there would be no Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? If there was no bad, why would there be good? You have to know the two sides to even have a equilibrium, right? So yeah, I'll just end it with this, you know what I'm saying? Don't shy away from the horrible experiences you have. Don't shy away from the traumatic experiences you have. You know, you are valid in how you feel, but understand that this is all going somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is forever, not even the good moments, you know. So if the good moments aren't forever, neither are the bad moments. But you just have to understand your mind and be able to live in a good spot. You know what I'm saying? In your mind, there's always gonna be bad stuff happening, but you know what I'm saying. I think you should just treasure when you're up. You know what I'm saying? Anything you want to close out with?
You are the author of your own existence. Have a blessed existence.
Appreciate it, but thank you for coming on, bro.
Absolutely.
Be safe, bro, and y'all be safe too. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.
Peace.